Five, four. Up. Here we go. Cool. So we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Silverlining TV, where we motivate and inspire people to create a better life through real estate. And as you can see, I'm joined by two of my awesome business partners, the awesome and great Scott Foltz and Joseph Spivey. How are you two doing today?
Great. Jinx, you
Great.
said
Great.
Awesome and great. So, we are going to talk to everyone today about the key advantages of buying a home today in today's market, because I do know that there is when it comes to the holidays and real estate, there are some theories or a lot of people say it's not a good time to buy, which we're going to break all that down for you because it may be a good time or it may not be a good time. So, we're going to spread the information to allow you to make a good decision on whether you should take advantage of the current market. So I'm going to throw it to you guys. Whoever wants to start first, what are your thoughts on buying a home and selling a home in today's market around the Christmas time, Thanksgiving time?
Go for it, Joseph.
I got you.
Got it.
All right. I'm jump right in here like double
Do
dutch. Go in. So for me, I would say it's always a good time to buy. There's never a bad time to make a smart investment, if that makes sense, right? So a home is an investment you can live in. It builds equity for you. And like I said, I mentioned in a video before, it is a part of your net worth. So there's never a bad time to invest in your future. Okay. Now, depending on your financial situation at the moment, you might have to decide, am I in a position right now to do it now or later? However, talking to the right people will let you know exactly where you stand. So it's not a matter of can I do it, it's a matter of when I do it. Does that make sense?
100%.
So,
Yeah.
if you have the right dedication and you know for sure that you want to establish equity for yourself and you want that home ownership, it's not like you're not going to be able to do it. You just have to be willing to do what it takes to own a home. And then no matter what the market looks like, there's always opportunity to own a home. There's always opportunity to invest in real estate. Maybe it's your second home. Maybe it's a vacation home. There's always a great time. You just have to have the right people. That's all.
True. Scott, you got anything?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, I feel like buyers and sellers are kind of conflicted and probably misled, especially in our market with all the media, all the negativity. On one side, you've got the market's unstable. It's this, it's that. Now's not a good time to do any big financial things. Take that into consideration with it's the holidays, who knows about the weather, I'm busy, all this kind of stuff. So it really is a big kind of misconception for people, like now's just not the time. But I love the fact that we're here to really talk about why it's always the time. If you're paying a monthly payment to live somewhere, that's 2/3 of the challenge right there to buy in your own place is just being able to make a payment. And if there are other issues at play, credit scores, anything like that, if you think now's not the time to buy a house, well, now is definitely the time to get together and talk about what we need to do so that you can buy a house after the holidays or, a year from now or whatever. And so, yeah, I think people are just misled. They just don't know. And sometimes they don't know what they don't know. So, yeah, and then that causes uncertainty and fear. And so people do nothing. And we're here to say that's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, 100%. And let's break that down and let everyone know one benefit, because we're going to give you three. So one benefit as to why today's market is in the timing that we're in right now with the holidays. It's a great time to actually consider buying a home. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So hold on, let me zoom in a little bit.
Ooh.
Whoa, that's a little too, whoa. Oh my goodness, there we go. Okay. So if you're not aware, and fellas, I want you guys to help me break this down. Everyone who's watching, if you're not aware, we are in a supply demand type of industry, right? And when the supply increases. If you're a buyer, that gives you an opportunity to have a little more leverage, right? So again, let's give contrast, because we in 2020, 2021, the market was very competitive as a buyer. I mean, it's still a seller's market. I want to make that very clear. But a couple years ago, and even a year ago, a buyer didn't have hardly any leverage. Let's just be honest, okay? I mean, if we're talking about being able to comfortably write an offer, like that wasn't really a thing. And it wasn't, listen, Joseph made a good point. It's always a good time to buy depending on your situation, right? So the people who bought in 2020, 2021, they bought for their own good reasons, you know, and I'm sure they're enjoying their home and all the beautiful things that come with home ownership. But the inventory and the month supply and everything, it made it difficult for a buyer to really, really have leverage. Now, conversely, today, as you can see right here, the supply of homes for sale has actually increased.
Mm.
It's still a seller's market, but there's a little more inventory to choose from. So let's talk about that. Scott, Joseph, how does that benefit a buyer if there's more homes to choose from?
I got you.
So okay, go ahead, man.
Oh,
We
well,
both want to tell.
the competition isn't as stiff as it was before. And as you mentioned, in 2020 and 2021, we had a lot of buyers per house, which means that anytime you were going to go see a house, that there were like 5 other people who wanted that same house as you.
Yes.
You were going to have to compete. And even if you wrote a fantastic offer, there was still no guarantee that you were going to be able to get that home, get your offer accepted. Now, when the amount of homes it's increased, and as you mentioned, it's still a seller's market, so people are still getting the right amount of money for their homes that they're selling for. But it gives us a more opportunity to make something happen as a deal that seems more fair to the buyer, as I would like to say.
Yeah.
Something where you're not having to over asking too much. You're not having to. I know a lot of people have waived inspections. There were a lot of terms that people were giving up just to be able to get into a house.
Mhm.
Now, even with it still being slightly a seller's market, you still have more of an opportunity to get an inspection, make sure that home is in the condition that's worthwhile and safe for you and your family.
Yeah.
You're able to negotiate repairs, and make sure that, hey, this might be an issue right now, but the seller's willing to fix this, or offer credit. There's just more room to make more things happen, more people getting homes. The sellers are still going to sell their home, but the buyer's going to get a great home and not feel like they got ran through the ringer in order to get that home.
So true. I think this is the market where a buyer and seller can really come to terms and they both feel like they're coming away with a win.
There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you look at this chart, in under 12 months, the supply has doubled. Nationally, I assume this is nationally.
Yes.
And so that's a big thing for buyers, for sure. Sellers are still in great shape. Prices around here really aren't changing much. They've just gone up slower. I know nationally, when we see what's on the news and everything, home prices are dropping and all this stuff. I mean, we're really fortunate here with our market, with Purdue and Subaru, Caterpillar, all the different places we've got around here. Our market is stable. So, and when I look at this number, it says 3.3 for October, 3.3 months worth of houses available. So it would take 3.3 months to sell all of the houses right now. That's quite a bit higher than what it is here in Tippecanoe County and in our MLS. But even our numbers are good. So yeah, there's just more choices for buyers, and they don't have to write an offer sight unseen because they can't get to the house in the first 35 minutes that it's on the market. We can go see it and take our time and talk about a solid offer that's going to be a good win for both. And yeah, just having more choices is huge.
100%. I want, if you're watching the replay or if you're watching live, I want you to leave a comment if you bought a home. All right, I think we are still live. So
Okay.
I
No.
don't. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some technical difficulties. It's okay. We're back at it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
The
back
hamsters are
at it.
going.
And let me get back to the screen sharing, and we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. And if you heard us in the back cussing and stuff, it was because I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
That was you.
Okay, well, I think we're back in. So you guys see my screen, correct?
Mhm.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Okay, and I see it. I just want to make sure we're good on Facebook, and it looks like we are. We apologize. We paid the internet bill. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but as you could tell, we like to have fun around here. So, yes, back to it. I think what we were talking about was, um, man, what were we talking about?
Scott had mentioned market absorption at some point, and then you were going into the number of houses that were on the market, or at least the supply was still good. Um,
Yeah,
and
I
you were
never
about
said
to
the word
bring some- you were
absorption,
bringing
Joseph.
something up.
say that again.
I said I never said the word absorption, Joseph.
No,
You're
you
using
didn't.
smart words.
You talked about supply, and you was like, if we run out. So for those of you who don't know, market absorption means if you were not to list any more houses at all, how long would it take for all the houses on the market to be sold and you run out of houses? So that's
Yep.
what market absorption is. So
There we
right
go.
now, and I think in Indiana, you mentioned in our Antoine, you talked about our Tuesday meeting that we had that we were in 1.1. I wanted to say so 1.1 months.
Yeah,
That, that's
it's
about
went down actually over the past like 4 weeks. It trended back down.
right.
Yeah. Which is, and I think the reason why that's happened is because of the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is interesting. But yeah, I mean, we're looking right now nationwide. You see the 3.3. For anybody who's in our current market, yeah, 1.1 is where we're at. But what we are finding, if you're a buyer, is you have the opportunity to take a little more time to make your decision. You have the opportunity, and I want to make this very clear. This isn't, I want to make sure that we understand the quality of your agent will also determine whether you can get great terms and conditions and a decent price on the home that you buy. So with the market being what it is in this Thanksgiving to Christmas window, right? If you're out there looking aggressively for a home, And I've been looking at a lot of homes that are being listed recently, and they're nice homes. And I'm seeing them sit a little longer. And I'm just sitting there like, man, all these buyers who are taking advantage of this, they're avoiding a lot of competition right now. So not only do you have more homes to choose from, but you have less competition, right? Joseph,
Absolutely.
what does that do to a buyer's chances of getting their offer accepted at a price that they want? Is that, I mean, it seems like it gives them a pretty good shot.
It does. It definitely ups your chances with less competition out there. And some people might. A good part of this too is like some people are still in the mindset of like, oh man, this housing market is crazy. It's out of hand. It's all this and that. And Scott mentioned the doom and gloom that the media portrays. But if you keep your ear close to the street and listen to your local real estate advisors and just try to keep a finger on the pulse, you'll see that there is opportunity. Yes, it's still competitive, but there's always a margin where it's not going to be too much. It's going to be like, hey, I know I want this thing. I'm able to actually make it happen, and I don't have to bend over backwards for it.
100%. Yep. So we broke down how important the supply and how the inventory has increased, the supply has increased, how that can benefit you as a buyer today. Why don't we talk about rates? Because what I've read actually today is that rates could be coming down, which they already have. If you're not aware, about 3 weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, we had a big drop in rates, and they're projecting for them to come back down a little more. It says, as a matter of fact, Lawrence Yun, the chief economist for NAR, National Association of Realtors, says the upcoming months should see a return of buyers as mortgage rates appear to have already peaked and have been coming down since mid-November. Okay, so if the rates come down, if you're waiting on the sidelines, this is the time where you want to jump back in and take advantage. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. I always my stance. I don't think it's ever going to change, but it's always if you need a house, if you need something, do it right now, and the situation will correct itself at some point, and there are options. So you're never locked in for life for a mortgage rate, or back in the day, people were going 25 and 30,000 over. They were covering extra cash at the closing in case it didn't appraise for the amount that they offered. We don't have to do that right now, and fortunately, our lenders, especially the big ones that we really like to use, they're getting creative, and they're coming to support of our buyers, and that's huge right now.
Scott, so and we won't name, I mean, there's a lot of great lenders that have great programs. Scott, you want to mention a couple that the buyer, if interested, could learn more about, that could help them if they're concerned about the rates? Could you mention a couple of those programs?
Yeah, so there are two ways to approach interest rates right now. One is get your price down right now, and that's done by bringing a little extra cash at closing, or sometimes we can get the seller to cover part of that. And what it is it's called buying points. It's buying percentage points off of the interest rate. So if it's at a 6.5% right now, you buy 1% down, you can get a mortgage rate of 5.5%. So that's a percent lower than the going normal rate. And that's for as long as you want until you refinance, and if you decide, if the rates never get lower than that, then you've got a 5.5, and if they go up, then you can get it even lower by refinancing.
So Scott, if I did that program today, and then next year, let's say this time next year, rates drop down to 3.5, I can refinance into now have a 3.5?
Then you get your 3.5, and if it never drops below that, you're in great shape. So yeah, your rate will never go up on what you get right now. You can buy it down permanently. You can buy it down right now. But then the other cool side of that coin that one of our main lenders is doing is they're allowing for a free refinance within so many months or a couple years or something. I think by the end of December 24 or something. So basically 2 years, that if you get a rate, whatever it is right now that you are able to get, if rates drop and you refinance within the next couple of years, I believe, then they will cover the refinance costs, which can be 12 to $1,500.
Wow. That is incredible because when I refinanced in 2021, they didn't have that program. No lender did, to my knowledge. So another reason why it's important to consider taking advantage of right now is what Scott just mentioned. Mortgage companies and banks are getting creative to find ways to help buyers like yourself still make a move if it makes sense for you to make a move. Bonuses and all these different type of loan programs to really help. This is new stuff. This is brand new stuff, right? So they're trying to make
Right.
it easy for people to make the right decision and really be taken care of.
And I definitely want to like just draw attention to like the reason there was the big crash in '08 is because lenders were giving loans to people who had no right getting a loan. This is nothing like that at all. They're not cutting corners to get people loans. What they're doing is they're going to pay money for you to get a better rate. So the loans are still as quality as ever, but that's how this is different. Is when we say lenders are getting creative, don't think like they're cutting corners or whatever. No, they're just coming out of pocket in the buyer's favor because they know times are difficult right now, and it's to their benefit if they can keep things going for buyers and sellers.
Yeah. Thank you for the clarification. Yes, 100%. So, all right, we're going to hop to the third thing. The third reason why you should consider buying and selling at a time like today is because home prices are not projected to crash. Okay. So Scott just mentioned that this is nothing like '08. Not even, different world, completely different, right? So if you're waiting for a crash, maybe a family member told you to wait for a crash or whatever it may be, right? We love them all. The reality is there's not going to be a crash, okay? You have the opportunity. We've been telling people this for years. You have the opportunity to, if you were to buy the perfect home for you today, you can ride the wave of appreciation. Okay. Homes will continue to appreciate because they have been. Even with the rates shooting up, we still see homes appreciating. Now, are they appreciating at 20%? No. Are they appreciating at a normal percentage? Yes, which is like around 4 to 6%. In some areas, it could be 8 to 10%, but we're seeing a positive. It's appreciating, not depreciating. So that is another reason why you should consider it, is because this time next year you can have some equity in your home just by living in it, right? So consider that. You guys want to expound on that any further?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I literally just talked to my mom a couple hours ago, and she said, "Yeah, we hear the market's going to bottom out," and I'm like, "Nope." And this was a sign for me as her son that I need to call home more because my mom's saying crazy stuff, and I'm a realtor, and she just said the statement. So I'm just gonna have a weekly phone call with my mom to make sure she's good. Also, see if she's okay, but like to make sure she's good in the market. Uh,
I
so
love it.
homes are definitely appreciating in value, and like you said, they might not be going astronomically high, but this is a way. Like if I were to tell you, hey, you buy a home today, and at the end of that year, I'm going to give you $2,000 or $6,000. If my home appreciated in value over a year, which the average you said it was about 4% in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
On a $200,000 home, an appreciation in value over a year of 4% is $8,000. So if you bought a home today, and at the end of that first year, I said, "Oh, by the way, here's another $8,000."
Yep.
Why would it not be a good time for you to buy a home?
Hey, let them know, Joseph. This is the power in getting reliable, accurate information. But I want to make a disclaimer on a couple things. Number one, Scott, the information he gave you, he's not a lender. So if you want information on what he was referring to, reach out to Scott and he can tell you the lender who's offering those programs, because not every lender is offering the same programs. All right. Number two, what Joseph just said about appreciation, homes appreciating. I want to make this very clear. We are speaking to our market, our specific market. Are there markets across the country? Maybe there's one here or two where there's been a slight drop in prices. Sure, I'm sure there are, right? I mean, yeah, every market is different. But in our market, we're seeing homes still appreciating and going up and up and up. So if you're watching this from, I don't know, Alaska or something, and maybe your market is completely different, you know, we're talking about our market here in Indiana. Okay, so I want to make that clear too. I don't want any hate comments saying you don't know what you're talking about. Listen, we can only speak with the knowledge that we in the data we have right now. We pull data, nationwide data. So nationwide, appreciation rates are still going up nationwide. In our current market, appreciation rates are still going up. We don't know in your market what it's doing. Okay, so I just want to make that's a disclaimer.
And that's a huge value add for us is we know our stats. We're not just out here flying blind. We know what property values are doing. We study this stuff every week. We go over very finite numbers and math and everything. So as a team, as a company, so
that's what we do. So we had technical difficulties. I think at this point it's time to log off because I'm starting to see myself skip again. So that's our cue. Scott, we'll start with you, Joseph. We'll always start with Scott. Joseph. Yes. Actually, last time we started with Joseph. We'll start with you, Scott. We had you go last time. All right. Scott. Yeah. How can people reach you?
If they want to reach me, they can call me at 765-427-2982. Next time, I think I'll put my phone number in next to my name like Joseph did, because he makes it real easy.
There you go. And thank you, Scott. Joseph, how can people reach you?
This phone number?
It's right there, huh?
But also, I'm going to get this distance right one time. There you go. There. That's my phone number. And then also you can reach me at joseph@slreg.com. You can reach me on Facebook at Joseph Spivey. I should be the only Joseph Spivey on Facebook with this row. And then also, if you see me on the street and you recognize me, you can reach me that way too. Just say, "Hey, Joe," and I'll turn around and talk to you. So we love talking to people. And I think this is also very important to know. There's no obligation to us once you speak with us. However, we feel like if we do our job well enough, that should garner enough attention for you. Like, maybe this guy knows what he's talking about. Maybe I should work with him. But there's no obligation. So free information. We want to make sure that people are making at least educated choices and decisions. So that way, no matter what happens, you are at least in the know.
One of our core principles is contribution. And our commitment, which is another one of our core principles, was to contribute and not ask for anything, not expect anything in return. So Joseph, thank you for that. And I want to give a shout out to you too, real quick. We haven't really done this often on Silverlining TV, but I want to do this. Okay. Joseph and Scott, I appreciate you guys due to all the hard work you guys put for your clients, for our clients. I mean, you guys are in the office every single day doing the hard work, the work that is uncomfortable, the work that a lot of people try to avoid, the work that's boring, and that is literally learning the data, going through the data. Boring, but you do it because you want to be true professionals. Working on how to present to bring clarity and confidence to our clients, right? Boring, but you do it every single day. You were here this morning at 8 o'clock doing that, making the phone calls to people, trying to find opportunities for sellers and buyers. Boring and extremely uncomfortable. So I want to salute both of you guys. And listen, it's not just them two, it's our whole team, because we're committed to this. I want to salute you two because you guys are on the call, for all the hard work you do. All the hard work you do. And I don't want people to to not really understand what goes on behind closed doors, like behind the curtains. Like you guys really put the work in for your clients. So for our clients, so I appreciate you guys for everything you do.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing us to do it and giving us the tools necessary for it. Iron sharpens iron in this game, so we appreciate
100%.
you. If it weren't for you, I think doing your research every day, pulling up the stats, making sure we knew what was going on, it'd be a lot harder for us to do our job. So teamwork makes the dream work in this case. We appreciate you as well, brother.
Factual. Thank you. All right, you guys. Listen, we apologize for I'll make sure the bill's paid next time. The MetroNet bill. Well, I probably shouldn't even said that. But hey, y'all stay safe. We'll see you guys on the next one. Oh, our goal is to help you reach yours. We'll see you next week.